Okay, you're following it for probably the best part, because it was early morning when you left.
Yeah, it was around like 6-ish.
It was very early on the morning. It's very
Yeah.
cold. It's very cold, and the snow hasn't eased up either. Okay. You're traveling along the riverbank. You don't see any ships. You don't see any boats or any fishermen or anything along those lines. It's a very grey, kind of wintry, cold morning. The snow is coming down. It's down. It's settling. It's about 2.5 inches deep now. The snow.
So what's that for me as a
That's
hobbit?
running all the way
Well,
to
still
the
2.5
forest.
inches. 2.5 inches is still 2.5 inches.
Really?
From our way, running from where we were to all the way to the beginning of the forest.
It's taken half a day.
Half a day.
So
And it's settled.
It's still quite a distance.
Yeah. It's still quite a distance. Yeah.
Crap.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Up in front of, in front of you, you can see that there's a magnificent tower. And from in the fork of the river, the Anduin kind of continues going around to the right, and then there's another subsidiary river coming down from the Misty Mountains on the left. And in that fork, right on that edge of the river, there seems to be a stone fortress wall.
Yeah.
And lots of ship jetties on it, and on the ships are all white swans, wooden white swans.
Like really pretty ones.
Yeah, they're very elegant and very, very nice, and they look old.
Yeah, for Zabi, that is definitely something that she would be.
They've got beautiful
like,
white
an awe
sails.
about.
Yeah, beautiful white sails tilted at a 45-degree angle. They're
Oh
closed.
god, I was picturing swans as in those romantic getaway things where you have a swan.
pedal
Not
boat.
those.
Yeah, that's it, a pedal boat swan. That's what I was picturing, bloody pedal boat swans. I'm thinking, what the hell?
You're talking
I
about.
thought you were thinking of the love tunnel ones.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah. No, these are 90 to 100 feet.
I'm with you now. I know which ones you're on about.
Ships. These are ships, not boats, not pedal boats. These are ships.
Boat.
About 90 to 100
God.
feet, you can't tell. There's about 6 of them moored to these kind of wooden walkway jetties. There is supply crates there. There's barrels and there's various other things that seem to be hanging either in
Right.
nets or just stored to one side. And they're across the river, on the far side of the river, right at the fork, right at the bottleneck of the fork of the two rivers. Behind this large stone structure is a very, very tall tower. It's smooth. It's a cylindrical round tower, very, very smooth, and it goes up, and it seems to be kind of a lighthouse or like a glass structure on the top. It's not glowing or anything like that. It's daytime, and it's got a golden handrail that. Right at the top, that circumferences the base of this big giant glass ball, glass structure, glass crystal at the top of it.
Okay.
Okay.
For Zabi, she'll definitely be looking at more or less all of their in R, seeing how beautiful that this place is.
The first thing you do, I mean, the lighthouse itself is you can tell it's a lighthouse, but it's white stone, and it's not just put together of any particular fashion. It seems to be structured together real tight, a bit like England.
Marble?
Almost like marble slates that seem to have interlocked with each other like jigsaw pieces.
Okay.
Perfectly flat, perfectly smooth.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of a white marble lighthouse.
The walls themselves are flat. But the pieces of marble or the pieces of stone, this white stone, seem to be, they're not all uniformly the same shape and same size, but they seem to fit together perfectly like jigsaw pieces.
Okay.
Interlocking. And this tall white tower is just a tall, very, very wide. It's about 6 foot to 8 foot wide. It's a very, very tall tower. It stretches up for about 100 feet. And around it, at the top of it, there is a handrail, a gold handrail. As you can see, the sun just glittering off it. The snow's still falling, so you can imagine the snowflakes just passing between you and the ships and falling into the river. And you can see that there is 6 ships
Yes.
These
okay.
white swan ships. At at dock, their sails are tied up, but the sail booms themselves are tilted at 45 degrees. It's a tradition that maritime elves actually park them at. They're all uniformly tilted in the same direction at exactly the same angle, and all the white swan ships are all facing inwards of the of this like horseshoe-shaped harbour kind of thing, with jetties coming off at various angles.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? You see this big building in front of you. You realise
I want to turn to Nostriel and go, are we here yet then? Is this the beginning of your entrance to Lorien?
She says, yeah, that's the it's kind of like it's a checkpoint. If you can imagine that there was if you like a canal, you know, the canal, you have gates that open and close.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They have these kind of things on Lothlorien, and what they do is they only have one, and what they do is they can there's a mechanism inside the system. She explains the mechanism inside the system that can raise a like a doorway under the river.
Right.
Yes, that stops larger ships actually passing further upstream, or prevents larger ships from travelling downstream.
Yeah, right.
Smaller boats, like fishing boats and things like that, can sail right over the top of it. But it's a stone mechanism. It's about 6 foot thick, and it's about 20 feet high. And by various like pulleys and levers and gears and things like that, and a huge chain mechanism, it can be raised and lowered. A bit like a retractable dam.
Do we need to stop there for any reason? Do we need to stop there to check in or something, or?
It's kind of it's kind of like it's where patrols are sent out from. So this, when she was dispatched with her patrol as captain, she would have to register her leaving Lothlorien via this office, and when she comes back in, she has to register back in as like into Lothlorien through this office.
So for Nostriel, it would make sense to go back there saying, "Oh, I've come back."
Yeah.
I simply just turned to Nostriel and say, "Look, just lead the way then. We'll follow you, because I haven't got a clue where to go from here."
Okay.
Well, we need to get entrance into the city, so...
Well, I said Nostriel, lead the way.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else want to do anything?
Yeah, just follow.
Okay.
I think we're all following.
Okay,
So.
it's still snowing. Nostriel, Morwen, they keep going a little bit along this, because it's on the opposite bank of the river.
Yes.
And the river's about 150 feet across.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's freezing cold as well, and probably about 20 to 30 feet deep. And she says that there is an equally small ferry terminal on this side of the riverbank, which they can use to get across.
Okay.
Okay, she takes you probably about another half a mile to a mile along the riverbank.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and buried just behind a small like outcropping of trees, now with a very thin 2-inch kind of covering the snow on top of its roof, there is like a open-fronted canal hut with two rowing boats moored up inside. These ones are not swan-shaped, but they are white, and you can see that they are, because they use more so than the ships themselves. These ones are kind of seen better days. You know, they're well worn, but they're still incredibly well sturdy. Each boat can hold 4 people.
Okay.
Right. So who's good at rowing?
I don't think it takes a genius to row. I don't think it takes a genius to row.
I don't know, okay.
No. Famous last words. Right, come on, let's go. Let's go.
I'm guessing we're taking the boat then?
It's the only way to get across, isn't it?
Now, there's
Yes.
there's 2 boats. Each boat can sit 4 people.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll
So
just take-
so there's like what, 6 of us, correct? So
what,
3
do we
on
have
each?
to leave a boat on this side? Do we have to leave a boat on this side?
No.
Okay.
So
And we just
there's-
split in
in each
half.
boat.
3 people, 1, 3 people, maybe?
Yeah.
There's multiple boats that traverse this river to and from every day. You don't have to return the boat. It's just there has been 2 small rowing boats that can occupy 4 people each.
Okay, that's fine. How heavy, like, how rough is the water? Like, is it really like?
It's not tidal. It's not whitewater rapid thing.
So it'd
but
be easy to get across.
it's incredibly cold, yes, and it is fairly flat, yes.
No worries.
It's not a
Right.
great waterfall nearby or anything like that. But if you do take it further downstream, and she advises that you don't take it further downstream because the mixture of the 2 rivers coming together can cause a kind of a torrent.
Okay.
Okay, but as
So-
you're crossing here, it's further upstream, just past that small little fork. The water is a little bit flatter. It's a little deeper as well. And this is the area where they moor up their ships in their horseshoe formation.
Okay, so we need to split into 2 groups of 3. So who's going with who?
Morwen didn't try with me in one boat.
Okay. Okay, if you want to do
That's
that.
gonna happen.
But it's just very simple to say, isn't
do
it?
think-
Yeah.
Right, so
It's not like we're going to be miles away. We're on the same
yeah,
part.
true. So
We know
Theo,
where the
Dúlintrast,
allegiance lies.
and Morwen in one boat, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that will
Theo
mean
and Dúlintrast in one boat, Zabi,
Zabi,
Estel, and
Nostriel.
Nostriel in another boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking
Nostriel's boat goes first because we need
Yeah,
to be
she's-
ahead.
She's leading the way. I'm only following her. I don't know. If we have to go across, then we go across. Otherwise, if we don't, I
let's
don't
stop
see why we
arguing.
do
Let's
it.
get going.
Okay.
No, I was just saying what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. We'll go in one boat and then the other, and then Nostriel's boat will be going first, and then
Yes.
Theo's
Can
boat
we
will
just
follow
get going?
suit. No, I'm just explaining what we're doing.
I
Okay.
know.
Okay. So
Get into a boat and sit down and say the following. Can we go now?
can we go now?
Yeah, and we're going.
See, even Dúlintrast knows already. I already knew from the freaking beginning. You didn't have to freaking explain it.
Are we moving now?
Yes.
Alright,
Come on, let's go.
We're saying
you get
that
into the boat. You get
as out of character. That's
Estel,
what
come
we do.
on.
yeah. Okay, you get into
Tip her over.
you get into the boat. Yeah, sing the boat.
Wow.
You get into your boats. Who's rowing?
We're letting Nostriel
Well,
row.
You know, how big is the boat? Is it like me and Morwen together, or is it just one person?
He said
it's
that
one,
it
one
all
person at the
contains-
head of the boat. You know, the
Yeah.
pointy bit goes forwards, kind of thing. You sit with your back towards it. You have 2 oars and you row across. 2 people sit, or 2. One person can sit alongside, and 2 people can sit opposite facing.
Also opposite Nostriel.
So either one person can sit in the middle and row themselves, or 2 people can take an oar each. That's configuration.
Well, I feel comfortable if Nostriel was not rowing, so I'm going to go to the top of the boat.
I'll row.
Okay.
I'll row my boat.
Alright.
Right,
So-
you want to do it, Dúlintrast?
No, I'm good, thank you. But I'm more than happy to row alongside you and let Morwen sit at the top of the boat.
Okay. Me and Dúlintrast row together.
Okay.
Well, I'm on the top of the boat just to like keep an eye out. So
Iceberg.
shut your fucking face.
Well,
In a river? No way!
Going already.
That's logically impossible!
okay.
No, it's not.
Oh
You
god.
climb into your boat. And you just
Yes.
Nostriel is rowing herself across this river.
Yeah.
It's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to get across. So if you want to do anything or say anything,
No.
okay.
I'm just softly going to like.
There's about 10 foot between boat 1 and boat 2.
Yeah. I'm just gonna softly like lean down, still holding on the front of the boat, and just softly touch the water. You know, like in one of those type of scenes that you like drag your hand.
it's incredibly cold. It's incredibly cold, but it is surprisingly clear.
It's just for Zabi, just seeing all this just amazes her, and she's happy that she is in a much better place than she was before. So she's getting like high spirits in her now. So
Halfway across. You're halfway across the river. and those that are rowing, yes, all you can see is just yourselves looking back at the small little ferry boat house on the far bank which you left.
Right.
So those that are sitting in the opposite direction, looking towards the larger ships, you can see them coming up on you, and they're absolutely huge. They're about 100 feet long, and they sit about 30 to 40 feet out the water. They are massive. And you can see that they've got like panels built onto the sides of them that are like swan feathers.
What is that? The design of it?
Yeah, intricately designed these panels of feathers. They're carved in wood. And you can see that these huge, like single-piece swan neck figureheads on the front of them, and their beaks are laden in like gold leaf.
Right.
Absolutely massive. And you you can see as you're coming up alongside it, you can catch sight of the huge, like I guess like a border patrol administration center building, with a huge lighthouse sticking out right on the like on the pinnacle of it, right on the edge, right on the tip of where the two rivers meet.
Okay.
It stretches about 120 to 140 feet. It's solid white, and it's against the snow. You imagine you've got this huge white building, and all the ground around it is all white in snow, and these swans are all white, and the roof that the snow settling on is all white as well.
I'm just trying to imagine this in my head right now.
Yes. No,
right now, all Theo's doing, he's just rowing, looking behind.
He's rowing the boat. He's rowing the boat, and like
just humming away to himself. That's all he's doing.
It's a quiet.
Row your boat.
Not singing, just humming.
Very quiet crossing.
Yeah, just nice and peacefully.
Yeah, I know. I just got that song in my head.
It's a very quiet crossing. You don't notice anybody moving around, like on the jetty, or like on the quayside,
Right.
and the jetties. You can see there's various supplies. There's barrels, there's boxes, there's sacks, there's nets, there's ropes and things like that, just dotted around the place. Along with various other kind of woodworking, carpentry, and rope making tools.
Huh. Okay.
Boat number 1. Who's in boat number 1?
That would be me, Estel, and Nostria.
Okay, you coming up to Nostriel kind of parks it perfectly underneath one of the climbing ladders, the climbing ladders that get you up onto the first jetty, so to speak. It's about 6 to 8 feet from the jetty walkway area to the surface of the water.
Right.
Okay, remember these are ideally for ships parking, not little tiny rowing boats.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you can see there's a ladder there that actually comes down and descends into the water. So you can step off your boat and you can climb the ladder. The ladder is made from, again, white wood, and you can see the snow has settled onto it. It's a little slippy, and it's a little... So Nostriel says just be careful getting out and climbing the ladder, because the decking themselves would be a little slippy with it being highly polished.
Or is it just going to be left to drift?
She can tie it up. She can tie the boat up. There's a small little, like, kind of like an eyelet kind of thing, like a mooring.
Yep.
And she could just feed a rope through that, and then what it is, it'll be left here, and somebody needs to actually go out on patrol and get to the riverbank and actually take it, and then take it back and leave it over that side. And you can see around you, there's like 6 or 7 other little rowing boats that seem to be tied up onto small little jetties here and there, or tied around jetty posts, support beams and things like that. And you can see how the elves can just simply take to a ladder or jump in and get across the river fairly easy if they're not manning the huge ships. Okay, so Nostriel says, just mind your step as you're getting out, because it's a little slippy. There's snow on the ladders.
Okay. I say to both Estel and Nostriel, I'll go first. And I start to climb up the ladder. Just get to the ladder and start climbing it.
Okay, you start climbing the ladder, and you do realise it is very, very slippy. It looks
well,
like
it's really cold because I'm barefooted too, so...
Yeah, it's incredibly... It's very cold, but it's also very slippy as well. And you manage to climb your way onto the wooden jetty. You can tell by the thin layering of snow, and Nostriel notices as well, that there hasn't been anybody on the jetty in the last 10 hours or so.
Okay.
There's no
it's
footprints or
not
anything
nice.
like that. She can look around and she can see that there has been some cases where, or looking across all the other jetties, you can see where sacks and barrels have been dragged around through the snow
Yeah.
to leave those kind of like, them scratch marks through the snow.
Yeah, Zabi is trying to actually like move her feet more, trying to get them warm because it is like aggravating that it's freezing cold.
Okay. So Estel, you're next one on the ladder. You climb up the ladder and you climb yourself up onto the top, and you're looking around, and there's nobody about, but you can see there's been some kind of hive activity because some of the crates and barrels and boxes and things like that have been left, haven't got a complete covering of snow over the top of them yet, so they must have recently just been passed there. Okay. Who's in boat 2?
That would be myself, Theo, and Mullen.
Okay.
I sort of make it sort of help park up in that, and I just hold on.
Yeah, you
to-
can you just drift your way in. It's not you're under sail power or anything like that. You're just going to drift in, bring it just almost right underneath the ladder. Who's the first one up the ladder?
You enjoy it,
Theo. Yeah, I was going to say let Mullen go.
No, let you go. Just in case the ladder breaks. I'm getting to the point of thinking.
Wow!
Those guys are afraid that the ladder is going to break, and they're putting me on it. Right?
The ladder's very
right, so then
sturdy.
up.
Yeah, it's
No,
very.
Yeah. So okay, I kind of like head towards the ladder, and I grab hold of it, like
It's
tug
very,
on it.
it's
to
very,
make
it's
sure-
very sturdy. It's not rotten or anything like that. It's a very sturdy, like.
Yeah, I tug on it just to like show example that it's a sturdy ladder.
It is.
I'll
When you get
probably know
hold of
that
it,
it's
you
sturdy.
realise it is wet and it's a little slippy, and it's very cold, obviously, because you're grabbing all the snow-covered wood.
Okay, so when I do that, I just kind of like take my hand off it again, bite my hand, and then proceed to climb up the ladder.
Okay, you climb up the ladder. It's okay. All the snow,
See?
as everybody's been climbing up this ladder, all the excessive snow's been knocked off it.
Imagine we had to roll for climbing. See who crossed the river first.
I just turn back
I'm
to
going back
Zellie,
down.
Zellie, you're going there, girl.
So as soon as I get to the top, I say, "See, nothing to worry about.
Good.
Come on."
You go.
I'm just wondering what Dúlintrast is going to do. Kick some snow so we'll fall on Theo's head.
I was like, if you're getting chucked in, it's that simple.
What?
Theo's freezing cold. His trousers are still wet.
And look at freaking Zabi! She's got bare feet!
That means nothing. You're more rough than that. Oh god, I've got my.
You're a
It's-
hobbit. Hobbits don't feel the
Yeah,
cold.
but she's
on their
not
feet.
used to the fucking cold on her feet.
I wouldn't feel the cold.
The
on
Morn's going up next.
Mowen's up next. Mowen, like I say, she's cleared off a lot of the loose snow. Everybody climbing up and down this ladder has used every run of the ladder, and a lot of the snow has been wiped off now. She says, yeah, it is a little slippy, so just be careful.
Now I'll take the boat back down to the big boats.
Dude, no.
You guys, I'm going home.
It's got a big
You see
butt.
Theo going off. No,
I can see how you're going to man
I
a
go
big
up,
boat
I
like
go
that
up.
all by yourself.
I did say I was going to man it. I was going to see if we would have fun on it. No, I go up. I go up.
Okay, you tie up the
I tie the boat off and then
tie
I
the
go up.
boat off, and you climb yourself up the ladder. And yes, it is a little cold and it is a little slippy as well, just like when you do reach the actual jetty itself.
I'm
The
glad we
walkways.
didn't roll for the climb
Yeah,
over
very
the
steep.
Zabi.
How tall is it, the ladder?
It's about 8 feet above the waterline.
And how high am I actually climbing to the bank?
To the jetty itself, 8 feet.
Oh, it is just. Oh, okay.
Exactly 8 feet.
So yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's like a ladder on the side of a walkway jetty kind of thing. Like I said, I mean, rowing boats, it's incredibly high for rowing boats, but for a ship, it's just a step off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why Jai was giggling a bit.
Get to the top. I'll just literally ask you which
You're all
way
stood
next.
on this. You're all stood along this like half wood, and after several yards or so, a couple hundred yards, like about 10-20 yards or so, it turns into an actual stone quayside.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see there is a settling of snow across it, but you can also see that there's been some barrels and some crates that haven't been placed there for very long because they haven't got a good covering yet. And you can see where some barrels used to stand because there's nice little circular outlines. So there
Have
has
a look
been,
in the barrels.
the barrels are all sealed.
Oh, okay. So they haven't got like a pop top or anything.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
they actually they are like they've got an inner ring. Yes, placed over the top of the cap of them, and
okay.
and that kind of locks them, that seals them.
Can I ask Nostril what she reckons there might be in these sort of barrels? Like, what is it that they're moving around?
It could be numerous things. It could be seed. It could be grain. It could be that kind of stuff. It could be fish. It could be I don't know. It could be fruit and vegetables. It could be all numerous
So
things.
you're basically saying like food supplies.
It could be any kind of supplies. She's saying it could be any kind of supplies. They ship a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff does get shipped around in barrels. Even the stuff that you wouldn't expect to be shipped around in barrels. It's just easy to roll on and off the ships.
No, it's fine.
Well, that's true, actually.
So okay, you're on this stone quay side, and you can see up ahead of you there is, because you're running adjacent to the actual very large tall wall. Judging the height of the very tall wall, you can see it has a small run of battlements on it. There's a lot of arrow slits and things like that, so it can be easily defended. This
Okay, yeah.
the only way you can describe it is being a naval fortress with a dirty, great big lighthouse stuck on the corner of it.
Is it this picture down here then? Or?
It's not one of these pictures, no.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's obviously birds and animals and things like that around as well. There's a lot of ducks. Making your way to this quayside, and Nostriel seems to be leading the group, and you tend to be all just following her, looking around, and is taking it all in.
I've dropped right to the back of the group.
Okay, you drop right at the back of the group, and you can see that up ahead. Those are up ahead. Can see that there is kind of an archway door, a double door. It looks like it's the very, very large wooden, like opening gates to allow carts and things like that through. But it has a smaller door, small archway door built into one side that allows pedestrians. They can be easily open and closed to allow pedestrians to pass in and out. Yeah. It's green. The paint on the door is green.
Green. Okay.
Yeah, it's a green door. It's wood. You can see it's wood paneling. With beautiful the hinges on it that have been carved and very elaborate. In black.
Okay.
Yes. And she pulls open one of the doors and she says, "We'll check in here and a patrol will take us the rest of the journey, rest of the way."
Okay.
You step inside, or she goes inside. Who's going to step inside?
I'll step inside.
Okay.
It looks like the elves are stepping inside then.
You doing, Theo?
Well, I was just about to say, is it warm inside, or is it like just like a normal
That's the
building?
thing. When you step inside, it's tolerable. It's very, very warm.
So when I go inside to get out the weather.
You go inside.
I think all of us will go inside, actually.
You're inside.
As long as there's enough room for us to spare.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of room. This is kind of like it's for checking in and out, customs and immigrants and things like that, migrate, and patrols and armies.
I jumped the fence.
No, you don't.
Jump the fence.
I give you the wrong place.
You're inside a large stone walled room inside. There is a carpet down. It's a red carpet, and it's got a beautiful a beautiful leaf design woven into it in gold thread. There's a couple of tables set to one side. These are like very ornate elf beechwood tables, very varnished and polished.
Any fires?
There's one fire, and it's between the two tables, and it's just off to your right hand side.
Okay, I'll go straight to the nearest point to sit down near it.
I'll join Theo.
There's the two very large, not very large, but cushioned benches. Yeah, cushioned benches.
Yeah.
Kind of up against one of the walls. This seems to be some kind of reception waiting room thing. And in there is two elves. There's an elf scribe.
Okay.
Yep. And then there seems to be some kind of elf, captain or sergeant or something along those lines, some patrol officer.
What, just waiting in the room or actually behind the desk?
No, just waiting. The scribe is actually sat behind the desk.
Okay.
And Nostriel goes over to the scribe and says she gives her name, and the scribe looks up to her and writes goes through, flicks over a few pages. She's looking some kind of previous ingoings and outgoing diary. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Sign in, sign out books.
Yeah, she's going through that kind of thing, and she's looking down this, and she traces her finger down one of the pages, and she looks across and says Nostriel, and
Yeah.
it says
You're 12?
no, it has in a little bit next to it. It has and one of you can try. Who can read?
I'm nowhere near it, so it's not me. I'm nowhere
Not
near it.
me.
Sindar has an opportunity to read part of the page.
Hold on.
Me!
I knew Zellie would go for it.
Well, Zellie can do it if she wants, but I can also do it.
I can also do it, but I'm by the
Elves
fire.
can do that sort of thing, so...
No, I can't do that, actually.
What? You don't... You
Does
only know a
Zellie
little bit, don't you?
definitely want to read it? Because I don't
You
mind.
can't read the whole of the page, but you can see where as she's rolling her finger down some of down the second column. What it is, it's like a description or a notes column, and some of them are blank. But she stops at Nostriel's, and she kind of like taps her finger on part of the word, and anybody can read. Sindar has the opportunity to actually read that word. It is handwritten, so you only get one roll of the dice to actually try and read that word or notice that word.
Okay, I'll try.
Only one of you can do it. So you have to decide who can do it.
Yeah, because I'm peering through. I'm peering.
Well,
Yeah, so it's Dúlintrast.
Zellie, but that's the thing though. If you like do a low roll, then we're fucked.
Let her just try.
If you do a low roll with
Yeah,
that,
no.
so it's same either
roll
way.
the dice. Anything above 5, Zellie does the thing.
Anything
Anything
above
below
5.
5, Jai does the thing.
And what if it's
Oh,
5?
we're gonna
If it's 5,
decide
we
a
roll
roll.
again till we find again.
Oh Christ!
Oh, then it can't be me to roll my. I'll roll my destiny. I'll roll my destiny.
Just let her roll it.
Okay.
It's only those
Wait.
that can read
No,
Sindar.
just roll the dice and we find out
Just
who
roll
does
it.
the thing.
God.
Say
9.
what?
9, okay, Zellie gets to roll.
I can't use that roll.
No, you can't, because that's what the rules you decided.
Yeah.
Ah, fine.
You will get yourselves into a right mess by making all these rules.
Yeah, that 9 could have been for.
Could have been for
Which is why I just said let her
Could
just
have been better
roll
than
it.
that.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Fine, don't worry. It's fine. It's a one word.
Shall I just leave it that?
Up to you.
This is better than when we were in Mordor.
68.
You haven't got a
plus what?
What's your read runes?
I read runes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
20.
new one.
20.
So that is
20.
an 88.
Partial success. Okay, Estel. This is what she taps her finger on.
Probably good that I still do it then, because I don't think Dúlintrast has read rooms.
She then closes the book.
I'm by the fire, I don't care.
She then closes the book. Okay?
Wait, was that next to Nosterel or under Nosterel?
Next to it. It's like a list of
Little
names, and then
notes
next to
section.
it there's a little notes section, and then there's a
I
date.
actually do have read runes.
I do, but
it's
I
not
don't-
very high.
Oh,
So it's maybe a good idea that Zellie did read it.
Yeah. For me, I do as well, but I don't use them. So
Is that what I think it is?
Well,
the word.
What you wrote?
it's exactly what it says.
Is that a typo or is that what it says?
Is that a typo or is that a set? What?
On the...
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
What? God, Zellie. Yeah, so she scrolls over, you see her move her finger down the page, she cross-indexes that word Nostriel on that particular date when she said that she signed out, and
Okay.
she taps her finger twice, and then what she does, she puts a little mark next to Nostriel, which means that she's actually checked back in kind of thing, and then she closes the book, and then she looks up, smiles, and she casually looks across at everybody else.
Oh dear.
you don't move, he's staying by the fire. He doesn't say a word either.
The elf sergeant kind of looks over as well. Nostriel gives her a glance. Gives this elf sergeant, this elf captain kind of guy. It is a guy. Gives him a glance, and he tilts his head back as if he's looking down his nose, and he's looking at each one of you.
Again, Theo don't care, he's by the fire.
Well, Zabi is with Theo, but just looking at the
Dúlintrast?
male elf a bit
Yeah, Dúlintrast.
unsure.
I kind of look back at him, like, what are you looking at? But not as, like, threatening, because it's like, yeah, I'm in your area, so, I just kind of look back at him as if to say, I'm not a threat to you, mate.
He hasn't introduced himself, so I don't care.
Dúlintrast, you look across at Theo and you can see him steaming.
Who's steaming?
Theo.
Theo.
He's trying to
Steaming
warm up.
in what
wet trousers.
sense? Like, the
As
wet
in there's clouds of like moisture coming from his legs.
Remember, he was wet earlier.
That's a thing.
Well, yeah. It happens in real life. Have you never seen it?
Yeah.
You're
Hello.
Only in hot showers.
Oh my god. You get it from on clothing as well if you accidentally wet your trousers.
No, I'm just imagining, like,
Well,
do you know Attack on Titan and how their blood
No,
evaporates that steam
we are-
off of people?
No,
and
we're not referencing that, Missy.
Yes, that's what Theo's looking like at the moment.
So Dúlintrast, you can look across and you can see this like small like flumes of steam just coming off Theo's trousers.
Is that guard guy still looking at me?
He's looking at each one of yours.
Right. When he looks at Theo, I just kind of like turn to him and say, he fell in the river.
I will respond to nothing.
I respond to nothing. Okay.
Well,
I'm not
you may not
I'm not even going to respond to him.
He might not understand it because I replied to him in his mother tongue. So
Well, it doesn't matter.
Fair
You
enough, no,
say that he fell in the river, and you explain it like you just say it real casual like, and the elf sergeant, the elf captain looks across at Nostriel, and Nostriel looks back and just simply says, they've been through a lot.
I look at Nostril, giving her the look. You think?
wait a minute.
Is she
what
saying her
language-
actual language or yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
what
saying
language does she
they're saying this in Sindar. The elves that are in this room are all speaking.
Okay,
Sindar.
so I wouldn't understand it, so I'll take that back.
Right. Yeah,
I
they're speaking in
remember-
Sindar.
Like, I replied, Sindar, yeah, that's the understatement.
I don't say a thing.
Okay.
He's only a zelly.
I go up to the guard and I introduce myself and tell him my name is Dúlintrast. From the woodland realm of King. I can't remember his name.
Can't remember the king's name.
I
I can't remember his name.
The King under the
I
Hill
don't blame
guy.
you.
Yes,
I know.
that guy.
What?
King under the hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from his realm, so I'm visiting. You know,
You're
via
visiting. You're visiting.
Dumbledore.
Really, Dumbledore.
Do we have to write ourselves in the book, or is that?
Nostriel kind of motions and says like, oh no, she says, if you just describe your names, she'll mark you in the book.
Does she say that in English or like in Western?
She says in Westron.
Okay.
So I then, after talking to the guard, does he tell me his name by chance? Or does he just look at me?
The guards, no, he doesn't give any particular names.
Okay.
Elves by nature are incredibly sensitive, secretive, but they like to catalogue and record everybody else's behaviour except their own.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, what?
Anyway,
It's
Personality,
basically
that's what she
me.
I
does.
need to know. I need
She's no easy on
I need
everything.
to know what you're going to write down in the book. That's all.
alright, so I just write my
There's a
name.
name. There's a name, and there's a reason for visiting, or a reason for arriving.
What's our reason?
Okay, so
What's that?
I go ahead
To
and
visit.
I
To
write my
visit
name.
what?
I go ahead, I write my name down in the scribe's book. Reason, because I was told to.
Well, wouldn't the reasoning be to actually see what's her name
See
again?
Lorien and the.
Yeah, Lorien.
Actually, reason, because I was told to, and because I had no choice.
Really?
It's his reason, and you can put what you want for your
You can
reason.
put whatever you want. It's just the elves are just going to keep this as like the elves of Lorien are record keepers. They like to keep records
Yeah.
of every minute.
I mean,
tiniest thing.
for all of us, our reasoning would be to see.
We've all got different reasons why we're here.
I'm sure you've all
Yeah.
got different reasons.
My
That's what I
name
said.
down, and I said important visit.
Okay. Important visit.
Or visiting for importance. That would make sense.
Actually, hold on a
Is that what
second.
you're putting down?
I'm not a freaking elf.
No, we've all got to sign our names in. Everyone.
Fine,
Okay,
fine.
so we've all signed our names.
This
in.
reception
It's-
area has
it's
now
the
become
easy-
about as chaotic as this poor little elf scribe's ever existed in her life.
Oh, take a chill pill.
I'm still by the fire, by the way.
We've been through a lot worse than this.
You want me to sign your name, Theo?
No, I'll come and do that in a second. I'll wait for you guys to all finish up doing what you're doing.
Well, I'm not going over there at the moment, so I'm just going to wait until they're finished.
Well, wouldn't reasons for like, can I report into my hanging away from here, like by sending
No.
carrier pigeon or something?
No. We don't. They might be able to send a messenger or something like that, but given it's the conditions and the range and what's going on as well, it's unlikely.
Unlikely.
Well,
You're
in
more than
which
welcome to go
case-
back and deliver the message yourself.
In which case, then I do sign it as Dúlintrast. Reason for being here: had no choice and was told to.
Okay. The scribe looks at it and just like, okay, yeah, right. Next.
Still,
I did my thing. I put my name down.
So you already did.
What,
about,
just important visit?
More when she can do hers now.
Visit Lorien. To visit. That's it. I came here to visit.
Okay.
I came here to visit.
Morwen,
I'm
you
gonna
see,
say
Morwen just scribbles her name down and just puts a line where it says reason.
oh damn it! That would be
Oh, I could have done that.
Dude.
Visit.
I did the same as more, and then
Okay.
Well, I did visit. It's fine. It's just one word. Visit.
So they're all done now. Yeah, everyone's done
So-
except for me.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I need clarification here. If she's putting line down, what is she basically doing there when she's doing that? Is she just negating the reason for
No
being
reason.
there?
No reason.
She
Yeah.
has
No,
no
I mean,
reason
it means
for being-
it means companion or traveling with others. You know what I mean? Like extra.
Oh.
I'm going to more or less say the same thing as
Okay, you're just
Morwen did.
traveling with others. Yeah.
Yeah, Theo, your turn.
He's so and so.
They're visiting with
Okay.
me.
Well, I put that down for my name that I've sent you.
Well,
Just that. And then for the reason I put for seeking answers and safe passage.
okay. Right. Okay. They've just got your names. They've got your names and they've got the dates that you came in, and they've basically got the reason why you are here. So. It's just a kind of a checkpoint kind of thing, and they like to keep track of people that pass through their lands.
Yeah. I'm well common to these.
Not
that's
that
fine.
not that anybody can like just wander in crossing the borders kind of thing of Lorien. It's just it's mostly for people that sail up and down the Underwind. But sometimes they get people that just like drift in and out and they just want to keep an eye on things. But the elves themselves, the elves of Lorien, they're like eccentric record keepers. They keep records of every minutest detail.
Do they want it in like Westrian or Elven or what?
As long as
do
you
they
write
want
it, it
in?
doesn't matter. They've got linguistics they can translate.
Cool. I wrote mine in Rohirrian then, my native tongue.
You can write it any script you
Yeah.
like. You
Right,
can print
right,
it. You
okay.
can use runic. So you just do what you want to do. Yeah. So long as they've got some kind of, they have scholars that can actually translate it. And if anybody asks to see that journal, because every month it gets filed away, locked away in the Great Library, and it gets replaced with a new blank one.
That's fine. As I say, I put it in my native tongue.
Okay. The captain turns to Nostria and says, basically motions her to go through another doorway.
Okay.
You okay? Nostriel turns and says, this way. And she goes through a doorway. You can see that the carpet actually stops. And then it goes down a few flights of stairs, turns a little to the left, and then it comes out round the back of the, around the back of the actual fortress wall itself.
Okay.
I get back on the outside. You're back on the outside, so you're back actually in the cold and the snow. And to the right-hand side, you can see there's this huge round tower. It must be about 20 feet across at the base. You can see that there is a small doorway at the bottom of it, and there's some steps seems to shoot up to the left-hand side. And there's small little windows at various intervals. You can see, what would you imagine to be sticking out the windows would be a crossbow or something like that. It's not. They're actually small little telescopes pointing out in different directions at different levels.
Huh. So, whereabouts are we on the map?
In front of you, there's a cobbled courtyard, and there is pretty much right in front of you. There is a beautifully decorated in vibrant colours, a carriage, like a caravan, a wooden one. Yeah, with iron ringed wood cart wheels with gold trimmings on them, and at the front of it there's 2 white horses.
What's on the carriage, sorry?
On the carriage, it seems to be some kind of like Celtic knot design, like willow pattern style, in various vibrant colours. Each all the segments on it are all different patterns and different designs. You can see
what it's carrying.
It's got a house on it. It's got it's a caravan. It's like a small house.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna travel on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that where she wants us all to go?
Yeah, she says they.
Is it like a Western caravan sort of thing? Like an
It
old
is, but
Western?
it's not. It's not like tarping or anything like that. It's wood. It's got an actual a wooden roof.
Is it like
on
the Hobbit ones we saw?
Yes, pretty much. Yes, similar to those
Yes.
ones. Yes, except they've got elven depictions on them.
Okay, cool.
So,
Yeah.
shall we, guys?
It's quite large. It's about 10 feet long and about 8 feet wide. It's a large.
So it can fit everybody.
What's
yes.
on the front of it then? Like, there's 2 white horses. Who's driving?
On the front of it, there is there's 2 elves. There's an actual I guess a driver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there seems to be a driver's assistant that seems to have a bow with a quiver of arrows.
Okay. Yeah, well, I say I'm following suit wherever Nostriel goes.
Okay,
Yeah, same.
Nostriel goes to the opening of the door and she unlatches this very small door. It's actually got a surprisingly stained glass window in the door. Ivy and roses. She opens the door, and as she opens the door, a small little foot ladder drops away underneath, allowing you easy access. Kind of like a latch spring mechanism. And there's
Right,
little
yeah.
3 steps. Then she uses those to actually climb up into this very well ornate, very comfortable, decorated caravan.
Okay.
She climbs up inside. Yep.
I follow suit.
Okay, Zabi, you climb inside.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
I'm going in. I was following.
Okay.
Pretty
Following
close.
suit. Yeah.
I was pretty close in.
What's everybody else doing?
I follow an Australian.
Everyone's following.
Is everybody going into the
Keeping a
caravan?
very,
Everybody following suit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
keep a very wary eye though.
Okay,
because
who's the
not
last one in?
Theo, I think.
Probably Theo, yeah. I think Theo's pretty much stayed at the back of everyone now.
Okay, Theo, you climb inside. And as you climb inside, you hear a what sounds like a bolt being pulled.
Oh, right.
And the door springs back and kind of locks, and you hear the stepladder fold away underneath the carriage
And that was done by
by
what?
the driver.
So he's got some sort of mechanism at the front to...
Yeah, he's got like a pulls a lever, pulls a bolt lever kind of thing, and that kind of closes the door and retracts the stepladder.
Ah, that's cool.
Which would make sense, wouldn't it? So,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
If there's a seat, I take a seat.
this thing is like traveling like 5-star luxury. You have everything seems to be carved into the structure of the caravan. You have like window seats that are very elaborately embroidered, and cushions, and you have a small carpet, and there's a small fireplace and things like that, like a small stove. Yeah, there's various like bottles of liqueurs and drinks and things like that.
I was
some
just
glasses.
about to ask if there's any.
I was getting to that. I was getting to that.
I knew
There's some
it.
flowers, and there seems to be a water bowl and a water jug, and there is some bowls of fruit and things like that.
I take some fruit, and what was the like? Is there anything that I can identify as alcohol?
Yeah, they're
There's
like
liquor
crystal
in it.
decanters kind of thing. There's 3 or 4 of them, crystal decanters, and they have various like everything from like a light pink all the way through to a deep red wine, and there's 4 of them. They're like literally stood side by side, and they're in like shade order, like going from light to dark.
Cool. I take some of the deep red one.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yep.
I see the fruit and I take some of the fruit, so I take like an apple or something.
You see some fruit. Estel, you notice that on the sides of the, obviously not on the back and not on the front, but down the sides of the this house on wheels kind of thing, there is small little round portal stone glass windows, like stone windows, stained glass windows, stained glass windows with little curtains that can be drawn.
Tiny the curtains.
Tiny little curtains, yes, and they're kind of like a green or a red velvet, and they've got gold like rope tassels, just hold them in place.
Can I
Peek
get
out.
out the window?
I knew it.
You can peek out the window and you can see that you haven't quite started moving yet, but you hear the driver like just steady the reins as if you're about to set off. I guess he's just giving you a few minutes just to get settled in, and then he'll start moving.
Yeah.
The snow's still falling, by the way, so you can see through the window. It's just snow
And trees.
and trees and a dirty, great big, huge telescope observatory lighthouse.
Cool.
Yeah, once the carriage does start moving, I finish eating the apple and like just gently have a small nap.
There's an assortment of nuts, apples, berries, and grapes.
Yeah, I
There's
had
a water
like
jug, right?
There's a water jug. There's a bowl, and there's a bowl of water, and there is a pitcher of water, like a water jug, next
Because
to
I want to
it.
refill my water skin.
Yeah, well, there's a small little stove there, and there's a small little black, like, a copper kettle that's sitting on the stove. It's got water in it as well.
I refuel my water skin.
Okay, yeah, you can
Refuel.
you feel it. Like, you
fill it.
refill it.
Refill.
So you top it back up again, your water skin. Yeah.
And I drink some, like a glass full of water.
Right. There's various like flowers in vases and in small little like flutes.
Can I
Okay.
identify the flowers?
God.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
They're
You and your
surprisingly
plums.
they're indigenous to Lorien, to Loch Lorien. Mostly from in the forest itself, and Nostriel, as you're inspecting them, Nostriel says they're from Gladriel's garden.
Gladriel's garden?
Yeah.
How big is Gladriel's garden?
It's quite large. Well, it's not huge, it's not massive, but it's moderately sized.
They are very pretty.
Okay, the carriage is moving now. The carriage is moving. So it's surprisingly a steady and flat kind of. Even though you're riding across cobbles, you expect to be like your back's been broken or something like that, being jolted around. But there's some kind of suspension system using leaf springs in the carriage itself, and it's surprising. It keeps itself surprisingly like level.
Cool.
Okay.
What does my red drink taste of?
Yeah, okay. Your red drink tastes of it's kind of like an alcoholic Ribena. It's got like a black
Cool, I take the whole
berries.
thing. I sit down with the whole thing.
The whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I've got
But
a
like
cup
I
in my
said,
hand.
like I said before with Zabi, once the carriage did start moving, she's going to have a little nap.
Okay. There's various things around the place as well. There's obviously little like carved figurines into the actual structure itself, into the support beams and into the construction of this carriage. There's
Theo will
little
pay slight attention to that.
there's little like I would say candle holders, but they're not holding candles. They seem to be holding little like glass shards.
Hmm.
Can I go and have a look at the glass shard? Is it like one of my glowstones?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, I'll sit back down and have my drink.
I'm not surprised.
It's very warm in here. It's very warm and very comfortable.
So would it feel like home, feeling that warmth for Zabi?
Very
Would
much
feel
so.
like
Yeah,
something
very
from
much for
home.
anybody. For anybody, this is like, it's not dull Guldorf. You know what I mean? It's very, very nice. It's warm. It's comfortable. It feels safe as well. The wood to the touch, even on the on the walls of the cabin, feel warm. Like I say, there's a small little like ironwork stove there for a copper kettle on top of it. A small little basket of like firewood, and a small little chimney that seems to go open straight through the roof. Little portable stained glass windows around. We've got their own dainty little curtains. There's little flowers and there's little like little brass lamps that seem to be screwed to the walls of the structure. But there's also carving. Somebody's gone and carved all the support beams into elaborate like depictions of animals and plants and things like that. Yeah. At the outside of it, the exterior of it is lovely, beautifully painted, beautifully decorated. The interior of it seems to be meticulously wood, but a lot of it is a combination of different styles of woods to give all those different shades and patterns and colours. Okay. You're travelling along in this carriage. You're completely unaware that it is actually snowing again outside. It's around about what you would assume to be approximately midday.
I asked Nostriel, where are we going next? What's the next process we have to go through? Where are we going? We got into a thing, they haven't asked where we're going, they're taking us somewhere, where are we going?
She's not too sure. She said it could be obviously somebody's put this on ahead of her, ahead of time. So she's not really sure where they're going. It could be one or two places.
Are we sure we were supposed to be in this one, then it's someone else?
Yeah, it's most likely it was for them.
Okay. Right, well, I'm just following. I'm literally following you. I have no idea where we're going, so.
I'm periodically looking out of the little windows.
They're looking out the little windows, and you can see that you're going past. Yeah, again, it's still snowing, but you can see that you're going past trees. Some that are close to the path are and don't have very wide trunks. They maybe the tree trunks themselves probably maybe 4 to maybe 2 foot wide. But you can see like further deeper into the woods, just as you keep rubbing the window because of the steam of condensation, and that because Theo's legs are still smoking.
Yeah, well, I'm the one nearest the exit.
So you rub the window slightly, and you can see off in the distance, Estel, that there is trees out there that have trunks that are 10 to 15 feet thick. But you can see that there is various bushes and vines and things like that. And occasionally you see like it looks as if there is like steps, like wooden walkways going from just above ground level, about 6 to 10 feet from ground level. They seem to start halfway up the tree for some reason, and then they spiral up, and it's difficult for you to tilt your head and actually look through these small windows to see where they go to, but they seem to go up through the trees.
What goes up in the trees?
These spiral staircases, these wooden staircases.
Oh, okay.
But the wooden staircases don't come down to ground level. They seem to come down to about 10 to 15 feet above ground level and stop.
Okay.
Okay. So none of these, but that's what you can see. You can see there's small little, and it's not every tree that has one. It's like you see one, and then a couple of minutes will go by and you'll see another one, but it won't be right near the road surface, like road edge. It could be further into the wood, into the forest. Yeah.
Okay.
There's various there's small little, there's in front of you in the middle of the carriage itself. There's a small little like beautifully decorated mahogany and walnut kind of stylized, inlaid with gold trimming coffee table. And on the coffee table there is a ceramic white jar with a lid on it in the middle of the coffee table.
What's in the jar?
You don't know.
What, it's just in
Does
the...
Nostriel know?
Nostriel's basically, what she's doing, she's taking her shoes off at the moment. She's giving her feet a rest. She's taking her boots off, and she is like half stretched out, half laid out on one of the carved construction support sofas.
Mm.
There's various furs as well. Like I said, there's various furs that are laid around, can act like blankets and stuff like that.
Zabi is still napping, so she looks peacefully asleep.
I could best describe it. If you took Estel's room in Rivendell and condensed it down to fit on a carriage, this is pretty much what you're looking at. All the exception of a bathroom. There's no bathroom.
Then Theo's room condensed into it. Because he had... Oh,
Yeah.
no, actually, never mind. You had a place to
I'm
watch.
gonna say
but-
this, guys. Everybody else, if they were looking at Zabi, she is like a little child, just sleeping with her head like nodding to the side. She looks like a little kid to you guys. Like she's
Hobbit's
sleeping
always like
peacefully and all
kids.
that. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you're not on top of each other. It's literally 10 to 12 feet wide, long, and it's about 8
Yeah.
feet wide. Theo
I'm on
has to duck.
service.
Yeah,
yeah,
Theo
I'm
has
by
to
the
duck
door.
to actually like keep his head down. But Elle's been fairly tall. This thing's about 5.5 feet high. So even elves have to duck when they get in.
For me, luckily, I'm the only one that doesn't have that problem.
Actually, I don't really have that problem.
really have
'cause
the
I'm
problem
not that
here.
tall either.
Yeah,
No.
you two don't have that problem.
Yeah, you can quite comfortably stand up. You don't need to like punch yourself down.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like Dúlintrast is like about what 5 foot
It's
something.
very nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
But yes, that there's various other things that are around you as well. There's a small inkwell and a quill and some writing material and things like that as well. Like put to one side, like on a small little writing desk, very small little writing desk, which is being incorporated into the structure of this carriage, and a couple of other things as well.
So I looked over to Nostriel. It looks like she's almost napping for a long journey. So I'm going to grab a load of fruit and stuff.
Just
and
grab
make
everything.
my-
This is
No,
all
no.
mine.
just like enough for me to eat, and I'm gonna go sit by the exit door again, and literally I'm gonna have like a little mini campsite for myself. I'm going food, drink, and I'm just gonna be sitting in the corner.
And Zabi only had like an apple and a few nuts and all that, so
I said there's nuts and berries, there's various grapes, and there's various assortments of fruit as well.
I'll take a handful of everything.
And I said that there is a stove there, and there is a copper kettle with some. It looks like there's steam coming from the spout of the kettle, so something is boiling. I'm not sure what it is.
Tea?
so everybody's napping
You
or
don't know.
doing.
And that's like, all these things are just around you, and not just you're either looking out the windows or you're just like looking around and saying, right, okay, what?
Well, like I said before, Zabi's napping. So.
Yeah, Zabi's sleeping. Nostriel is kind of she's taking her boots off, she's taking her jacket off and her cloak and all that kind of stuff, her cape. And she's made herself comfortable on one of the little, slightly larger, structurally built, carved-in sofas on this carriage.
I've stayed the same place I am next to one of the windows, and I've pretty much camped myself there, really,
Okay,
in a sense. And then
you camp yourself there. Morwen
keep warm.
has removed a vast majority of her armour.
You're not.
I had no armor, it's fine.
Yeah, she removed the vast majority of her armor, and she seems to have just left it to one side of one of the chairs. It's a low back, round chair. It's padded still, leather padding, with very ornate, decorated back to it.
I don't think Zabi actually gave second thought to take off her stuff, so her gear, like her bow and arrow and all that. So
yeah. Things have just been like dotted around. It's kind of like because you've gone from the check-in check-out post, and you're going to be taken somewhere. If you were visiting somewhere, you'd be shown some kind of quarters or like somewhere where you could like hospitality suite or something like that. Because you're in a forest, and this forest is a province, a kingdom. Yeah. Nostriel kind of explains that you are under the elves' protection, therefore you're under the elves' hospitality. Therefore you are in your hospitality suite at the moment. It just happens to be on wheels.
Okay.
It's not like Rivendell, where you just go along and stay in Rivendell. It's like Rivendell. If Rivendell was the size of a country, then and you need to get from one end to the other, then it's the elves' obligation to actually provide hospitality for you and your comfort.
Okay, this is my next question, because I think more or less most of us in the group are either like just resting or taking a nap or something like that. How long was the journey?
The journey to where you're going?
Yes.
You don't know because you don't know where you're going.
We're
But
still on the journey now.
We're still on the journey at the moment then.
You're still on the journey, yeah. You just like you don't know if you're going to be on here for 5 minutes.
Basically, I'm asking how long until we actually stop to our destination.
Again, you don't know. Nostriel will tell you. Says that it could be one or two places you'd be taken to. Yeah, either way, you've probably got you've got time to get some sleep.
Well, like I said, Zabi's sleeping, so she's don't know all this.
Get a drink.
I'm going to ask Nostriel, where are the two places that you think that we'll be going?
You could be going to Galadriel's villa, or you could be going to the it's like a military base.
Oh god.
Which do you think?
I like the military base one.
No, I'm saying no.
Which out of the two do you think is
The military base? It's wrong to call it actual military base. If you could take the houses of Parliament and drop them in the middle of Lorien, and just change all the politicians into councillors and kind of like advisors and all the rest of it, like and build it around a records office, then that's the kind of place you could be going to.
Okay.
It's like a central government building.
I asked Nostriel, is there a blacksmith here?
In Lorien?
Yes.
Yeah, there's several.
Okay. I proceed to just ignore everybody and look out the window.
Well, Zabi's not going to be bothering anybody time soon anyway, because she's nodded off.
Zabi's sleeping. Theo's camped himself out by the exit with all the food
and drink.
Yeah.
I'm wearing all my clothes still as well.
Am I able to actually stand up in the carriage? Sorry.
Yes, you can stand up, yes, quite comfortably, yeah.
Okay.
You can put your hands up, you'll hit the roof.
Alright. Well, I'm just standing looking out of the window.
You can stand, you can look out the window. Again, these are small little, stained glass. Not any particular pattern to them, they're just kind of geometric shapes. Some are diamonds, some are squares, some are cloverleaf style. Stained glass windows. And they're circular. They remind you an awful lot like Hobbit hole windows. Yeah? And you can see it snowing outside and you see trees go past.
I turn to Dúlintrast.
You're not doing 100 miles an hour, by the way. You're going along at a steady 10 miles an hour.
That's fine. But, yeah, the horse is with us. I turn to Dúlintrast and I ask him just to come sit down next to me for a second. While I'm eating and drinking.
Alright. Well, I'd head over to Theo, sit next to him. What do you want?
While Before we entered Dumbledore.
Said
No,
the
you're sleeping.
Said the unconscious Hobbit.
I said that out of character, by the way.
Let's see how
It's
why
funny
we were
in
going.
story if you say it in your sleep, like, it's Dumbledore.
I said it out of character. Nothing more, nothing less. It's Dumbledore.
Enough. Shut up.
Alright.
Never gets old.
God.
I tell him to bugger off.
Well, you tell him to be okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Can't bother to
Come all
talk
this way. Come all this way.
No.
Anyway, do it properly. Do it properly. Come on.
Why, before we got into Dumbledore, which is what Theo keeps saying, we had a little campsite. You found papers. Estelle found papers. There's only one piece of paper I haven't seen yet, and it was the one that Estelle was trying to get from you. Do you mind telling me what it was about? Or just showing me? I don't really care.
Alright.
If it's English, then I can work it. If it's not, then I will try to figure it out.
Okay. So Dúlintrast ruffles around to find a piece of paper and shows it to Theo very secretively.
Okay.
Theo will give me 2 seconds, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm probably on the opposite side,
You
kind
are.
of not really bothering, but I have peeked over, like, because Dúlintrast moved over there, so I'm the kind of back and
I'm
forth.
making sure you don't see anything that I'm doing. Like, if I've got
God.
paper, I'm making sure it's facing away from you.
I just
I'm well aware of Estelle's nosy nose.
I just show it to you. I don't give it to you. I just show you.
That's fine.
And as you're doing all this moving around and the rest of it, you see Morwen Nostriel is just settling herself down. She isn't sleeping, she's an elf. She's just resting.
She's not sleeping. She's an elf.
She's no, she's just resting. She knows that she's going to be in this carriage for longer than 10 minutes at least anyway. Lorien is quite a large kingdom, and it does take a while to get through, if not a day to get from one side to the other. But Morwen has removed all of her armour because it is quite warm in here, and some of her armour she's been wearing for a day, so she can't wait to get rid of it. You're going to take it off. And she has kind of like curled herself up, almost on the floor as if.
Huh. Okay.
That's kind of where I was sitting like when I had my little campsite. I was sitting on the floor as well.
Yeah, kind of on the floor as
Hey,
such, like
humans
using
together.
using the furs, and there's some pillows there, very elaborately, very well embroidered.
You know I'm
decorated
using those pillows too.
pillows, yeah.
All the pillows.
The pillows have like duck feathers in them. You know what I mean? They're really, really soft.
Because
Yeah.
my pillows are soaked and not fluffy anymore, so I'm so happy to
You
be
can
near
strip them
fluffy
out.
pillows. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could do that.
Oh my god.
I could just, like-
giving her ideas. It's game over, people.
Okay, I also mentioned to Theo that Estelle has a copy of this now.
When did you give her a copy?
When she was sleeping.
When she was sleeping.
How does that work?
Oh!
How did you give her a copy when she was sleeping?
Snuck into her tent and put it in her
So
diary.
you went into a lady's tent. That's pretty immoral.
Hey,
Dodgy my
compared to what she did to me,
What did she do
that's
to you?
nothing. When I was in meditation, she was rifling in my things while I was wearing them. She had her hand. Like, I'm not saying this very loudly, I'm just kind of saying it.
I know!
Perception check.
She
Go,
had her
Zellie.
hand down my shirt.
You
It
can
was
hear him say
feeling
it. You can hear him
like
say it, Zabi. He's saying it, so
She
you
had
can
her
hear him say
hand down my shirt, rifling around trying to find something, and that is a breach of personal space. And I
it. Just
look,
a little bit.
What?
look at Estelle as I say that.
I'm looking away. I'm looking at I'm looking at the scenery outside and the leaves. I'm snacking on one of the fruits and I'm
So-
cuddling next
So
to
if I were
pillows.
you, Theo, I'd sleep with one eye open.
What was she
Lord,
doing?
no, God knows.
You're not at least bit curious that she was looking for something.
Hey, she's a half elf.
Yeah, but
Even
I know
elf-
she's quite like needy for stuff in like 3D, but usually she has a reason for wanting it.
Well, it's a piece of paper.
And you're
Sorry.
sure that's what she was after?
She may have been after that. She may have been after anything. But I'm telling you,
not thinking that. No.
she may have been after absolutely anything. But I'm telling you, I don't like the idea of her being near me.
Maybe she's got a thing for you.
Well, the feelings are not reciprocated.
I'm sure they will be eventually. You've got a long time yet. Maybe you're secretly married to each other. No, what was it? Secretly...
Bestowed.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So that
For each other.
Do
Betrothed.
an
Betrothed to
invisible
each other.
face palm.
I replied to that by saying, you do realise that
Arranged
Estel
marriages.
is many years my senior, so this could be essentially robbing the cradle. Would they have that in Middle-earth?
You've just
For
come
elves,
into...
no.
I'm still going. I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
You can go with it, yeah, but
Okay,
for
fair
elves,
enough.
no. I have to look at the perspective of Arwen and Aragorn. You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's robbing the cradle there. But compared to me and Zellie could be tens of thousands of years older than me, and I'm like,
Estelle.
so, yeah, okay. Estelle
We know
could be
Zelly's
like
older than you. Tens of thousands of years, yeah.
tens of thousands of years, yeah. Estelle could be tens of thousands of years older than me, and I'm barely out of my 60s. I mean, come on.
Wow, 60. Old man.
Shut it, Lorien.
I'm trying to stay as still as possible in this thing. I'm,
No,
not-
but you are.
I'm
Okay,
holding
cool.
my tongue and everything.
Whatever
Kind
she
of all I wanted to see and know, really. The piece of paper.
Well,
That's
I continue by saying whatever she was looking for, she certainly held. Didn't find it.
So you hope. Has she tried since?
No. I've never given her the chance. I told her, you try that again and I will cut your hands off or something.
You're absolutely sure she hasn't had the chance?
I'm absolutely sure.
Okay. I'll take another gulp of my drop. Wink. Wink. Drink.
Why?
Wink. I want winky dwinky.
He's getting drunk, guys. Dúlintrast does what?
I'm actually
You
curious.
look
Will
for
I be
elegant
dreaming of anything right now? Oh no. I don't have that ability of dream, but I don't know. I just feel
hobbits
like
do.
for
Yeah, hobbits can dream.
They're just not prosthetic dreams or anything.
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
No.
It's not like you can cast dreams or anything.
No.
I cast dream upon you.
no, I know I can't, but sometimes a dream can be important if something happens.
I'm telling you, if you're trying to dream of me and
No,
get another stinking dream, Hobbit.
no.
Can dream hobbit.
Okay, I shoot Dúlintrast away anyway.
But you shoo me away.
Yeah, go sit on the chair now then. Done with you. Leave me be.
I
Leave me
smack you with my hair as I stand up.
be. You what?
Smack you with my hair.
With your hair?
He wishes his hair into
Oh.
your face.
Right,
Yeah, I can see that actually.
fine, whatever. Lucky I don't grab it and pull it.
So it's kind of like you're got to be quick to catch it.
The reflex are slow, human.
My sword is big though.
Really, I just got that you. God damn it, Lee.
Oh god, I don't
He's
like
compensating for something.
I was like,
To the window I was looking at.
My God.
But
Okay.
this time I take out my medallion, so I'm kinda like, instead of looking out the window, I'm like focusing on the medallion to do what we discussed earlier, Wispa. Or
Okay.
to try to do that.
Right, okay, right, fine, yeah.
What? What?
Okay, what?
What
Yeah,
we've discussed was
Which?
yeah.
secrets.
Secrets.
There's millions of
just
secrets,
you
yeah.
with the person on the other.
I mean, what do we all see if we looked at Dúlintrast?
I'm
See,
asleep, so I wouldn't know jack shit.
You didn't actually after
Looking at an apple.
after all the time that you spent with Dúlintrast, even though he has an appearance of like,
Yeah.
Fugly.
yeah, you kind of
Fugly.
you've got
Pets.
you've got used to it.
Woo!
You've got used to it by now, yeah.
Steadily, they're getting prettier. One level to the
I'm not
one
going
level
there.
at a
I am
time.
not going there.
Every cup helps.
God damn it, Lee. Oh my
What are you
god.
doing?
I know
Okay.
two people who are not going to be sleeping easy tonight.
I guess we just see
what?
it and then just hug or
So
something.
you're in this carriage. You have your fruit, you have your drinks, you have your small little copper kettle.
Yeah.
It's warm, it's comfortable. You can remove your armor. There's the likelihood of being attacked is like slim to nothing.
Yeah.
And you're traveling within the realm of Lorien under the elves' protection. Into what?
No, ignore.
God damn it, Willie.
So yeah, you've been taken somewhere, so you have an opportunity to talk and discuss stuff as well on these journeys. Okay. The snow is falling a little more so. Estel, you look outside the window and you can see that the snow is it's only falling on the carriage and on the road. It doesn't seem to be falling on the trees.
Okay.
It's certainly not reaching the actual forest floor. The forest floor is still looking green and lush as it normally does.
That makes sense. With the trees that cover.
Yeah,
and
these
then all the
trees.
snow is pretty much on the tips of the trees, all on top.
The tree trunks deeper into the forest are looking moderately large now, around about 15 to 20 feet, 25 feet thick.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Periodically doing that, looking outside.
About 30 minutes go by,
Yeah.
and Morwen wakes up.
I then go to sleep.
Okay.
I then start to stone.
He nods
Go to
off.
sleep.
Your
Yeah,
bottle
nodded
of
off.
Ribena is gone now.
Yeah, no,
His
that's
bottle
that's
of
probably
Ribena!
pretty much what it was. It's
Blackcurrant
so
juice.
disappointed. Yeah, it's so disappointed. But I'm on the process of nodding off now.
Okay, yes. So yeah, your bottle of blackcurrant now is empty.
Zabi's still asleep.
It's like
I
it's
have
still
to get
sleeping.
one before we leave.
Nostriel seems to be at peace, just resting. Morwen is awake and is awoke now, and she says, she looks out the window and she can see that it's still light. So obviously it hasn't been like a whole day's journey traveling.
Yeah.
And she goes over to the small little copper kettle and she picks it up and realizes that it's actually full of water. Looking around, she can see that there is a small little wooden chest to one side. She lifts off the lid of it, and inside she can see there's an assortment, a small little assortment of different types of teas in there.
Huh.
I have an oolong tea.
These are all loose teas. These are all loose dried teas.
Okay.
And they're all different shades. She's not sure, like, obviously probably all different flavors as well, but she's not too sure about it. She's not a tea specialist.
So she just picks some at random then, I'm guessing?
She picks it up again. She's not culinarian. She's not really sure what she's doing, but she has drunk tea before. She's drunk it in Brie.
Yeah.
And various other places while out and about. And she takes a little pinch of like the light coloured tea and kind of drops it into a cup. And she takes and these cups are very similar to the ones in Riverdale. They're bone, or horn, and they've got silver clasps around them with a wooden handle, exactly the same as like the Rivendell, except the engravings are slightly different and they're slightly smaller. She sprinkles a little bit at the bottom of the cup, and then she takes a pinch of another different type of tea, smells it, and then sprinkles that into the bottom of the cup as well. And then she pours hot water over the top, and then for a small little like long sprig leaf, she pulls out like a cocktail stick, but it's just an actual twig with a few little like pine leaves on the end of it. She pulls it out of a small little holder that's just inside the same tea chest, and stirs the concoction kind of thing, the tea leaves and and the water, stirs it around a little bit, and then sniffs the tea, and then takes a little bit of a sip, and then she goes over and sits down and finishes off her cup of tea.
Okay.
Sorting my hair.
You what?
She's doing
I'm
this.
sorting my hair
Okay.
at this point.
She's doing this. I'm watching her extremely intrigued by what she's doing.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking at her, but looking at her kind of puzzled as to why she's doing it.
She's doing her hair. Okay.
No. I'm not
No, why she did
not-
the tea thing.
Yeah.
Oh, she did tea
Nostril.
thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like just,
It intrigues me what it is she's doing. Like, to Dúlintrast, tea is just not something that he's accustomed to seeing.
You probably had that in your place, though.
they would have had tea, yes, but
Yeah, but Dúlintrast isn't really accustomed to it because he's like,
the assortment of teas and the selection of teas
Where-
is something you're not accustomed to. Tea is incredibly expensive.
yeah, that's why he's not accustomed to it. That's why he's kind of like watching her as if to say, "What are you doing?
Good to know. I
What's
know what
that?"
I'm pocketing after.
I think you might have a point though, because not all elves might be accustomed to it. Plus, like you said, Wispa, tea is quite expensive.
Tea's
so-
quite expensive, and an assortment of teas, like a tea chest. And in
Yeah.
fact, this is what it is. It's a tea chest with small little like capsules of tea inside it, all loose.
Yeah, I assume even for people of Tharbad, like having tea was a luxury.
Yeah.
Tea would have been a luxury, yes. So you're in Lorien, and this tea chest has approximately 10 assortments of teas in it.
Wow. Okay.
With small
I
little.
would assume I've at least tried a few, but it would have far few in between because there was such a luxury.
You'd have tried some, and there would have been black teas all the way through to like the paler beige kind of teas, and these are all arranged. It's like looking at a spice rack with all the lids off.
Yeah.
If they were lined up in a drawer kind of thing, in a small little wooden chest. Also in the little wooden chest is a small little compartment, like a small little tub there, which holds little sprigs of pine, which have had the pine needles pulled off of them, and they're used to actually stir and ferment and mix the tea as well. So it's like tea blending. You may have drunk tea, and you might, but you're certainly not familiar with the fact that there are other types of tea, and tea blending is something that you've never ever seen.
This is why Dúlintrast finds it so intriguing. It's like, to him, tea is something he's never ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's watching her. He's like, what?
The smell, because it's had time to warm up now and ferment. There's a kind of a peppermint nutmeg smell coming from Mowen's cup of tea, like cup.
Strel.
No, it's Mowen. Mowen's the one that's actually making the tea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nostriel's still kind of just zoned out at the moment. She's still conscious and she's not asleep, but she's just resting. Okay, so there's like a peppermint nutmeg kind of smell drifting through this caravan now. Okay? Anybody doing anything?
Stretching.
Stretching.
I'm watching Melbourne.
It's like I described, this is like Rivendell, but Rivendell on the next level.
Right.
Yeah, for luxury. This is like Rivendell on the next level of luxury kind of thing. And it's on wheels. It obviously goes places, this thing.
Yeah.
Nostriel wakes up. Well, doesn't wake up, but she kind of like opens her eyes at the smell of the nutmeg and of the cinnamon and of the peppermint that seems to be coming from this tea chest, which Mowen's kind of left the lid off.
Oh dear.
It's fine. It's just there's some smoked teas in there. There's a lot of fruit teas in there. There's teas that are made from the leaves of like strawberry bushes and rose bushes and things like that. So there's lots of fragrances flying around, and because it's so near to the what do you call it, the oven, the hearth kind of thing, the stove. You can smell it in the air. It smells like you've just walked into a cinnamon bakery.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it's filling the cabin, and Mowen's kind of like she's really enjoying this kind of like spicy, smoky tea. So Nostriel wakes up, like opens her eyes, gets up, goes over to the tea chest and has a look, and then she closes the lid on it. On her way back, she removes the lid from the white jar that's in the middle of the coffee table. Puts her hand inside, takes something out, and then puts the lid back on again. But you don't see what she takes.
It's a biscuit.
It's a biscuit.
Well, for Zabi,
sweet
she's still she's just sleeping. She's unconscious. So.
Turkish delight.
She goes back to just lying down with her. She's got something in her mouth, but you don't know what it is, and it's like she's got her eyes closed again. And she's just laid half like sitting up but laid back kind of thing.
I finished trying to sort out my hair with just my hands.
Yeah.
And obviously stretched. And then steadily check the pot that Nostrel took a thing out and open it.
Okay. You go over to the small little pot. It's not a small pot. It's half the size of a normal cookie jar, like jam jar size. It's a clay white pot. There's no very little in the way of decoration on it. With a white lid. On this very ornate mahogany coffee table. And you take the lid off it. And when you take the lid off it, Nostriels opens her eyes and looks at you.
Shit! I haven't looked at her, I'm looking in the pot. What's in the pot?
Oh, what's in the pot?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's in the pot.
Jerky!
Oh no.
Turkish delight.
Oh, really weird.
That's what you can see in the pot.
I'm not looking at Nostrel. I'm looking at the pot.
Yeah, you're looking at the pot. Okay.
Oh.
You see, she gets up, Nostriel gets up, and she kind of does a half turn, and then she reaches underneath the bench where she's actually sitting and pulls out another small box. And she opens up the small box, and then she takes something out, and then closes the small box again.
I take one of the things in the pot. Is it wrapped or is it just free taking?
It's free.
I'll take one piece and I put it in my mouth and see what it tastes like. If it's really sweet or
When she comes, you put that in your mouth. I'll tell you exactly what it tastes like in a second.
bitter.
She comes over and she places something in your hand.
I whisper thank you and sit down.
Okay. So then goes back and just lies down again. She goes
Really, I
back.
don't know
I whisper
why.
the exact thing I just whispered.
I don't know why she's singing it in Cinder. There's nobody that's not conscious
Conscious.
that wouldn't understand. There's
I don't care. I said it like that, okay?
the only
Yeah.
person
She said it in their own native tongue, so don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but the
she's
only person
returned
who
back to.
possibly wouldn't
She's
understand
taken
is
something
Molly.
out. Everybody else, she's taken something out of a box, a small box. Obviously, lovely put together, constructed, wooden box. Very polished, very waxed, smooth, shiny box. She's taken something out and she's placed it in Estel's hand.
For borrowing or keeping? I just want to keep that. For borrowing or for keeping?
We don't know. She's gone back to lie down again.
Yeah, after Estelle moves away from where she was, I go up, I look at the box. I'm assuming it's a box that she's taken.
It's a box, and it's under the bench that she's under the sofa bench that she's laid on.
No, not Nostriel. The
Pot.
the
Oh,
pot.
the jar.
Yeah. I go up, I have a look. I don't take the lid off, I just look at the pot and
Look at the
Trying
pot.
to,
The pot is a
assess.
ceramic. It's a ceramic. It looks like, if you can imagine, that Winnie the Pooh honey pot with a lid on top.
Yes.
By the way, before I did go back to my seat with the thing in tow, I also took another one out of the little pot,
Oh,
and
God.
I go back to my seat. Because if it's what I think it is, I know what it tastes like all the different types. So I'm like, this is yummy.
Okay, so while that...
Love it.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to have some right now.
I'm going to ask, is anybody looking at me when I'm looking at this ceramic thing?
No, Mowen's still sipping her tea. Estel is, yeah, got something in her hands.
Gonna use the thing in my hands to sort my...
Okay. So you see that Estel...
she's been given a comb.
Estel seems to have this small little hand brush. It's circular. It's circular. It's like a circular brush. It doesn't have a handle or anything like that. It's literally just sits in the palm.
Is it like what you brush a horse with?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It seems to be black with white stars kind of on the top of it, which rests in Estel's palm. And it is exactly that. It's just an actual hairbrush. It's an elven hairbrush. It's very nice. It's not over the top, elaborate, but it is better than what you would probably find in any dwarf and any elf or any orc cave.
Okay.
Picture orcs with any hair.
I want to smell...
They do use them. Do
they even have hair?
Some do, yeah. Some do.
Oh wow.
If you remember the
Would it
Urukai,
be like
the
a fish
Urukai,
bone then, would it?
hey?
Oh yeah, the orc, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they have hair.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'm going to smell around this kind of pot to see if I can smell anything kind of vaguely familiar, because I haven't picked up any food or anything like that yet. So, and I'm guessing my character's getting pretty hungry right about now.
Yeah, well, there's various nuts and berries and fruit and grapes.
Yeah, but I'm
and
interested in this ceramic pot, so I'm smelling around it. Do I smell anything?
Because the half-elf touched it.
Oh.
half-elves had her hands in it.
She can think like that if she wants. So I'm smelling around this pot.
Okay, what do you mean smelling around it? You're going to stick your nose against it or something?
No. I'm just like smelling.
It is
it
just
a
a
hot
simple.
pot?
It's a very simple. It's not elaborate. It's not beautifully decorated.
Is
It's
there
a
any
very
kind of
simple,
Is there any kind of like scent coming off it, like a food scent?
a good scent.
Food.
But there's a
sealed
slight
container.
problem with that, see, because Morwen left the lid off the tea chair, so everything in the cabin now smells of peppermint and cinnamon.
Okay. I'm going to go for it. I am going to take the lid.
I love the
That's
secrecy out of something so simple.
That's always the case, though,
And
isn't it?
this is why
I'm
Zabi is
taking the lid off
sleeping
of
right
this
now.
pot, right? I'm taking the lid off of this pot, and I look inside.
Okay, you take the lid off and you look inside.
You see spring-loaded snakes fly out of it.
And I dodge out of the way so that they hit somebody else in the face.
I just had some right now in real life as well.
Oh.
Now Jai
Okay.
knows what I just had.
Are those rare?
Extremely.
Oh. Okay, is Nostrel looking at me by chance now?
No, she's got her eyes closed. She's
Damn it.
laid back and... Why?
Oh, because I wanted you to do this kind of little, like, am I allowed to take this kind of thing?
You can still do that, but she's like, have her eyes closed.
Okay, so I'm kind of looking around as if, am I allowed to? And then I take one.
Okay, you
In
take
fact,
one.
I take 3.
You take 3.
Yeah, I
Oh
take
my
One
god.
more than me! Actually, no, the same amount.
Really?
You took 2.
I had one when I was there. To try it, and then I took 2 more and went back to my seat. So technically, I took 3.
I could have
I'm
sworn you only
taking-
took. Never mind.
I'm taking 3,
Oh, we say that.
but
now.
I'm putting them in. I'm putting them in a pouch.
Okay.
So I'm not eating them just now. So I've taken 3 of
You've
those.
taken 3. Okay.
Yeah, and I put the lid back on.
Put the lid back on. Okay.
I'll laugh if they melt.
Just because I'm not eating them right this second, like most people are.
I'm eating it right now.
Good for you.
And Zabi is asleep.
Yep. Okay.
After that, I take some nuts and berries and whatnot. Just start taking some food.
Okay. Okay, you're still in this carriage. Morwen is sipping on a cinnamon peppermint tea.
I'm sorting my hair
You're
properly.
brushing your hair, yes.
I'm actually going to ask her. I'm going to say, "What are you drinking, Morwen?"
She assumes it's some tea blend. She's not sure. It smells
Why?
nice. Hey?
Why?
Because Theo drank the wine.